Well, let's try this out. I wrote an outline and of course left it laying somewhere else. Don't matter, I wouldn't have followed it anyway. I've been listening to podcasts for years now and have been wanting to try one for a long time. Of course, always fear of nobody wanting to hear what I have to say. And of course the rejection of throwing something out there and the backlash of comments, or even worse, no comments at all. But been doing a lot of thinking of David Goggins' Can't Hurt Me, and of course the second challenge he threw out was the accountability mirror, and the third was get out of your comfort zone. For me, talking about my past and who I am is outside of my comfort zone. Generally a pretty secretive person, have some demons that I try to keep hidden. And I think it's time to talk about them, or express a few of them. Maybe tell the story of who I am and why I am, and hopefully, maybe I can help somebody out. Maybe I have some information that somebody else needs to hear. Anyway, my name's John Hendricks, and this is going to be episode 1 of my podcast. So I guess one of the reasons I've always put off doing the podcast is never knowing exactly what I wanted to talk about, or, having an atmosphere to do it. I spent a lot of time in the truck, figured this will work. Trying to be safe about it, got my seatbelt on, watching the road, got the phone on a hands-free mount so you can see me, and I'm not tempted to pick the phone up and try to do some weird angles and shit. But anyway, back to the what to talk about. Kind of like a dating app. My name's John Hendricks, and I enjoy long walks on the beach, and politics, and weightlifting, and fitness, and health-related activities. The more I've thought about it, I want to start with probably 5 or 6 things that have impacted my life the most. And the first one needs to be weight loss. It's not the biggest impact in my life, but it is one of the biggest, and it's shaped the last 14 years of my life dramatically. Like, it has been the influencer in most all of it. So I had a real rough childhood. Some things happened when I was younger that I think kind of led to me having an eating problem. I don't know that. May have had the eating problem regardless, but anyway, it was a bad childhood, and I started gaining weight somewhere around 3 or 4 years old, and stayed fat from that point on. It's really interesting to look back at my, photos of my youth. At 3, I was this little skinny blonde-haired boy, and by 4, I was dramatically overweight with dark hair. Things really changed all at once, and there was a lot of stuff going on at that time, and we'll talk more about that later, or maybe in another episode. Not ready to jump off into that yet. But I kept eating as I kept growing, and growing is the right word for it. I think I went into the 8th grade somewhere around 225. Come out of high school somewhere around 260, and I think I got up to 280 at one time, was the highest. Being a fat kid is odd. Well, and I should say I can only speak from my own experience, so I'm not trying to compare myself to the skinny person that gained weight after high school, or the mom that gained weight during pregnancy and is having a hard time losing it. My weight loss comes from my entire identity, childhood, adolescence, young adulthood, being drastically overweight, and how it affects things. Whether or not I was an outcast in school, I felt like I was. I made myself an outcast because I was the fat kid. I can remember being in elementary school. I'm not sure exactly what grade, but I was young. I know it was elementary school because it was at Hills Chapel. And standing in the boys' bathroom wishing that I had a genie so that I could wish away my belly fat. And trying to figure out, well, if I could just take 10 pounds of fat off of my legs, or 5 pounds of fat off my stomach, or some fat off of my arms, you know, how would I look the way I wanted to look? I'm thinking maybe 4th or 5th grade, maybe younger. But that's a hard thing, you know. It's a terrible thing to think about, being that age and having those thoughts of hating yourself. Absolutely hating your body, hating the way you look, hating the way you are, and not knowing any better. You know, if a kid's obese, you can't just tell the kid, here, eat these salads, don't eat this. Or here, get into a caloric deficit and exercise more and you'll lose some weight. The mind can grasp that, yeah, I'm overweight, I don't look like everybody else, I don't fit in with everybody else. But it can't figure out how to lose weight like an adult. And that's a very hard situation to be in. And I will say I had some wonderful, caring grandmothers that played a huge role in raising me, and they fed me very, very well. I was never told no when it come to food. And we had the standard Southern American diet, you know, biscuits and gravy and steak at dinner and everything cooked in fat and butter. I'm not villainizing fat by any means, just the caloric surplus was there. I don't know how much being overweight through adolescence affected me, but it's what I remember the most when I think back on those times. I was not very active. Quit football my freshman year of high school. Just quit out of sheer laziness. I've used all kinds of excuses to explain to people why I quit. I've made shit up. I've even justified it to myself, or convinced myself that the shit I made up was real, or couldn't be got around. When in fact I just quit because I was lazy. I couldn't hack it. I didn't like to exert myself that much. Of course, no girlfriends really in high school. I don't think that it was as much about being overweight as it was about the way I felt about myself because I was overweight. And I'm probably not wording that very well. But if you have no self-confidence in yourself, if you don't like yourself, if you don't like the way you look, if you just don't like the person you are, how can you expect anyone else to like you? Or why would anyone else like you? Fought with that a whole lot, and ended up with a whole lot of friends that were girls, but never any actual girlfriends. And that's something that I thought, you know, led to a whole lot of self-loathing, a whole lot of depression. It's just hard, you know. Hell, being the fat kid in high school is hard, and it may not be now, you know, as more and more people are becoming more and more overweight, and you're not one of 3 fat kids in high school, you're one of half of the high school that's overweight. So maybe it's not as bad now as it was, but it definitely shaped my personality in those years, and continues, you know, to have an effect on who I am now. I think it always will. Of course, you know, it definitely affects me now, but now I get to claim that I am a former fat boy. And I do believe former fat boy is a thing. It's a term. I've met some other guys and we've had this conversation, and you're never the skinny guy. It doesn't matter how trim you get, how much weight you lose, how great you feel about yourself, you're still the former fat guy. Anyway, so, you know, high school, pretty miserable. Of course, being overweight is not the only reason it was miserable. It's just as miserable because, hell, I was a prick. I didn't like people. I didn't like myself. It made me distrust people. You know, went through most of my life thinking I didn't have any friends, never very popular. And, you know, I always blamed that on stuff. I always blamed it on being poor, or blamed it on being fat, or blamed it on this, or blamed it on that. Truth is, I was a shit. Hell, I was just an asshole. I wasn't any fun to be around. And shit, I still might not be, who knows. But got to college, went through college, you know, got a lot of work in, had a group of friends, that was good, but I was still the fat kid. And I let that keep me from enjoying college as much as I could have. I really let being overweight keep me from enjoying a lot of my life, and I shouldn't have. I wish that I wouldn't have. That being said, I am not one that will tell you body shaming is wrong. If you're overweight, you need to lose weight. There is no excuse. You need to lose weight. You need to be at a healthy weight. You need to be active. You need to watch what you eat. There's no way around it. It just is. But anyway, I got out of college, went to work, and there is a stigmatism with being overweight. People see you as you're fat and lazy. It will affect your career. It affects your opportunities in life. It affects the way people interact with you. It affects the way that you interact with people. So, got to work, you know, went to work for a company as an entry-level estimator. Wasn't moving up or advancing like I wanted to be. Had a great boss, great mentor. Really took me under his wing, but we got to talking shit at lunch one day. Of course, we would all go eat at one of the restaurants in Ripley, Mississippi, either the Mexican joint or, oh man, I can't even remember the name of it, but just a little diner style, you know, salad bar, lunch platters. Very easy to overeat, you know, very hard to undereat. Anything you ordered was going to come in mass quantities, more than a serving. But anyway, there's a little mountain, Wicker Mountain. It's the second highest point in Mississippi at Tippa Lake, I believe it is. Wow, it's been a while. I'm trying to remember these names and places. Real good elevation change. There's a real good trail to the top of it, and we were talking shit and somehow challenged each other to see who could walk up this little mountain the fastest, the best. And I did it. It hurt badly. Walking up the hill, halfway up, I had to stop multiple times and lean against a tree to keep from falling over. Couldn't breathe. Just miserable. A miserable experience all the way around. Coming down was even harder than getting up. I remember the ache in my legs the next day was just unreal. And it was, you know, that was kind of an eye-opener because of the lies I would tell myself. And you know, we all lie to ourselves, and it's really easy to fall into the trap, and I am the world's worst of it. And I would tell the lie, you know, yeah, I'm overweight, but as long as I can carry myself, I'm doing good. I can still keep up with anybody around me. And that was a lie, but that proved it to me. That showed me that it was a lie. Everybody else knew it, but that was the eye-opener for me. And that kind of started the path. That really opened the door that led to my weight loss. The same boss, after that challenge, we did wagers. He would never call it gambling. We wouldn't place bets, but we would make wagers. on who could lose the most weight in a given amount of time. And he would always win, but it helped me to stay motivated to lose the weight. So my birthday is July 27th, and on my 23rd birthday, I woke up and I had my first dealing with what Goggins calls the accountability mirror. I looked at myself in the bathroom mirror and thought, you look like shit. You look bad. You're a 23-year-old man that can't carry his own weight, is obese, and you're probably going to die of heart failure at 50. You're essentially a piece of shit. Scale-wise, I was somewhere around 262, 265. And I had to do a whole lot of soul searching in that first couple of days after that, because I got fucking mad. I was ready. I was ready to change my life and to do it. But I had to learn how. And the how is the really, really hard part. There's a Rascal Flatts song, and I butcher the lyric, but it's something to the tune of, they mean me no harm, but they won't let me change. So, as I said, I was the fat kid pretty much from birth on. I was known as the fat kid. Everybody I knew, everybody that I shared life with, everybody that was in my movie, you know, or I was a co-player in their movie, everyone knew me as the fat kid, the kid that will overeat, the lazy kid. That adds to or amplifies how hard it is to overcome an eating disorder. And I'm saying eating disorder, I'm meaning liking to eat. And again, I'm not meaning, yeah, I gained weight after high school, or I gained weight after college, or I gained weight after I quit playing football, or I gained weight because I was pregnant. No, I'm meaning if I eat the way I want to eat every day, I'll weigh 300 pounds. May weigh more, I don't know. But I consider it an eating disorder. So I got mad at myself, and I started having the identity problems of going to family events, you know, Sunday dinner at Mama Joni's house, and hey, I'm trying to lose weight. And then seeing the spread, you know, the food, the casseroles and the meats and the breads and the cornbreads and desserts and the layout of the best food you've ever put in your mouth. It's absolutely amazing. My grandmothers can cook. Oh my God, they can cook. And realizing I can't be a part of this. I can't be around it. I have to get away from this. The same goes for going to lunch at work. You know, the guys come around, hey John, let's go eat. Let's go to Mi Toro. We'll eat chips. We'll pig out. No, I can't. I can't go be a part of that. Because I'm not going to have a serving of chips and dip. I'm going to eat 2 baskets. I'm not going to order off the lunch menu. I'm going to order the dinner entree and sides. But the identity of it is having these people, and they mean no harm whatsoever, but they expect it of you, so they come to you and almost throw it in your face. And you have to distance yourself from that. I had to get away from it. So the first 6 months of my weight loss journey, I moved out of my grandmother's house and rented a 40-foot long 1-bedroom house trailer in Ripley, Mississippi. And had power, turned the internet off, turned the cable TV off, no antenna on the TV. I went and started buying whatever books Walmart had on clearance as I could read for entertainment. But I couldn't even watch the Food Channel. I couldn't watch commercials about food. I had to be away from food. I relate it to people now as trying to quit drinking, working in a bar, or trying to quit cigarettes and buying a pack of cigarettes every day. You can't be without food. You'll die. So if you have a food addiction, it's the hardest thing in the world, because you can't just avoid it. You have to have some, but you have to regulate it. You have to regulate how it interacts with you and how it's brought into your life. The Food Channel was a huge trigger. I had to get away from it. TV in general was bad. But had to turn off the internet and move away from everybody I knew just to get away from all of the temptations. And again, it's not them, it's not the outside people, it's yourself. It's needing to reflect on, why do I have this problem, without the distraction of someone expecting you to act in a certain way and promoting that, or allowing that activity to continue. So between 23 and 24, it started in July on my 23rd birthday, and I finished, or what I thought then was finished, in May, roughly, maybe April of the following year. I lost 100 pounds. I went from 260 to 160, and didn't necessarily do it the right way. Now, I did do it the way that most dietitians, which this is changing as well, but I did the typical US diet. Let's cut out all fats, ramp up the processed carbohydrates, and eat 1,200 calories a day. I starved myself for a year and lost 100 pounds. It absolutely will work. It is a diet that will work. I lost a whole lot of muscle during that as well. A whole lot of fat. Lost it quick. Got a lot of skin to show for it. But every step of it was absolutely worth it. The minute that I made the statement to those around me that I was going to lose weight. Sorry about that. I had to take a phone call. But anyway, when I made the statement that I was going to lose weight and people started to see that I was actually serious about it, I was met with two different things. And it's about an even split. Half the people that were in my life hated me for it. The other half congratulated me and supported me and were really inspired and impressed by it. You know which ones hated me for it and which ones were okay with it. But the cool things about it, work-wise, career started advancing and has never slowed down. No different as a person, no different as work ethic goes, no different in my abilities, but just proved to people that I could set my mind to something and achieve it. That was one facet of it. The other facet of it is I got skinny. I got rid of the stigmatism of, well, he's the fat, lazy one. Doors started opening for me. It makes a world of difference. You know, the ones that didn't like it, though, were, the ones that, well, why won't you sit down with us and drink a case of beer anymore? Or why won't you go eat lunch with us anymore? Or why are you doing this when I can't do it myself? Or you've done enough, why don't you stop? Ran into that a lot, It's like, say I started at 260. Well, when I got to 220, had quite a few people say, oh, well, good, you've done really good. You look great, you look better. You don't stop now, right? And that was not my goal. My goal was to become healthy, to be skinny. Once in my life, I wanted to feel what skinny was. And so, there's memes floating around all the time that's nothing tastes as good as skinny feels. That is the absolute truth. Does that mean that I don't eat a donut once a week? No, it doesn't. I wish it did. I wish I never had to face sugar again in my life. If I could do without it, I would absolutely love to. But I know at some point I'm going to break down and I'm going to overeat, and I'm going to overeat on dessert items and high sugary items, and I'm going to fight for the next few days to get back off of that. Anyway, I should have brought the outline. I've kind of lost complete track. But so I lost the weight. When I got done, or when I hit 160, I was driving some sheep pile in New Orleans on the London Avenue Canal after Katrina, and I came home and was lucky enough to meet my wife, Melissa, and I don't think I would have ever met her had I been overweight. And not that she has a shallow bone in her body and wouldn't have, paid any attention to me being a fat guy. I would have never approached her as a fat guy. That's where the confidence comes in. And it's not a lot of confidence, but it is a little bit of a boost. I still have to fight body issues. But I'm pretty sure she hated me for the first little while that we were dating, because it took me a long time to get to where I could trust myself to go to a restaurant and not send half of the entree back the minute the waiter brought it. So if you're trying to lose weight, that's a good little trick. When you go in, order a glass of water, kill the first glass of water, drink it as fast as you can, drink all of it. Then order your entree with a to-go box. The minute they set it down, put half of it in the to-go box and hand it back to the waiter and ask them to throw it away. Don't take it home with you. You'll eat it. Throw it away. Most all menu items are twice the serving size or more, so you're going to get plenty of food. Don't worry. Get it off the table. Get it away from you. If you get it out of the way right off the bat, you can't eat it, right? But it worked out. And Melissa got over my need to cook chicken breast and green beans every night of the week, and she helped me to try to get back into some normalcy of how to interact with people. But in that time, I did read and learn all I could about weight loss and nutrition, and it has become a huge facet of my life. And sometimes I worry about it because I talk too much to other people. I'm very opinionated. I interject my own opinions and comments a lot of times when they're not needed or wanted. And I am not a dietitian. I am not a nutritionist. I am not in any form of health service. I manage job sites. I build stuff. But I have spent the last 14 years studying nutrition and diets extensively. So it's a topic that I'm very well versed in. And the first year of the diet, and probably the year following, I was the cliche. I was the, hey, you just need to learn how to eat and eat that way. If you learn the right foods to eat and just eat that way, you're good. My favorite one is, it's the lifestyle change, it's not a diet. For me, and I won't tell this, I don't think this is for everyone, but for me, and if you can relate, you're the reason why I'm doing this as a podcast. That's bullshit. It is absolutely 100% bullshit. It doesn't matter what you eat, you're not going to stop craving waffles or donuts or cake or ice cream. Ooh, pork skins. Tomato sandwiches on white bread with a little extra mayo, salt, and pepper. Yeah. Anyway, squirrel. Yes. There's healthy ways to eat. There's ways to get more volume out of your food at the same caloric content. There's ways to manipulate your macros so that you can increase your daily caloric intake and still lose weight. All right, so many people are already offended by that statement. I did not say that you do not have to be in a caloric deficit to lose weight. I said you can increase your daily caloric needs so that you can eat more and still lose weight. Totally different statement. Don't go to hating on my keto stuff yet. I've been on a diet since that morning that I woke up on my 23rd birthday and stepped on the scale. Not the same diet. I've been on any diet that's come down, down the pipe. I've tried them. But I've been on a diet of some form. It's not as simple as just learn what foods to eat and you'll be good, or just eat these types of foods and you'll be good. I think that's one of the hardest things to explain to people that don't understand what it's like to overeat. I want to overeat. You see people sit back and unbuckle their belt and pat their stomachs. Oh, I could never eat another bite. I don't know what that is. I could literally eat until I throw up, wipe my mouth, and sit back down at the plate and eat some more. I love the feeling of being full. I love the feeling of almost being in a coma. I'm so full. I love sugar. I love sweets. Hell, I love food. So for somebody to say, okay, well, just don't eat this cake, eat this apple instead. Yeah, that's great. But I don't want an apple. I want the bag of apples. Eating an apple does nothing for me. It just makes me mad. I want to eat the whole bag of apples. So, yeah, I can do straight vegetarian diet and gain weight because I will still overeat. The regulating how much you eat is the hard part for me. And I know there's others out there that feel the same way. And I know you get just as frustrated when you hear people say, well, just don't eat as much. Or just eat more salads. Or just drink more water. I know they mean well, but they have no idea where they're coming from or what they're saying. So, if you're like me, I want you to know that I'm in the struggle with you. I'm going to be on a diet until I die, whether it's of old age or I get hit by a truck tomorrow. I don't know. I hope I'm 99 and have lots of grandkids running around and playing my guitar, and I'm still skinny, because I'm still going to be on a diet. I have to be. Anytime I've tried to not be, the weight starts creeping back up. And statistically, if you look at people that actually do studies on this, that is the case 99% of the time. Everybody is really good at losing weight. Nobody's good at keeping it off. Because even if you stay on the diet, you keep eating the foods that you're eating on the diet, you'll slowly start increasing the amount. There used to be a thing called the set point theory, that your body's got a certain weight that it wants to be at. And I think they've just, stopped teaching that in health class, but I honestly think it's there. And I think it's got a whole lot more to do with things than calorie deficits. I think it's very hormonal, and I think it's very genetic, and I'm really glad that people are starting to question the whole calories in, calories out, because I think it's going to lead to some good research and some good ideas on maybe how can we turn off some genes, maybe how can we introduce some hormones, how can we regulate cortisol, do some things that will help people that fight eating addictions to lose some weight and keep the weight off. It's tough. It's worth it, but it's tough. And I'm here to help. If anybody's got any questions, I'll be glad to share my story with you. I don't often, because there's some darkness to it. Like I say, I think everything really changed for me sometime in between 3 and 4 years old. My mother passed away when I was 3, and my stepmother shortly after that was something off of a Disney movie. that's, yeah, that'll be for another episode. And maybe the weight gain and, you know, spending most of my life, all of my youth, overweight and obese, maybe it all stems from a depression and self-loathing. I don't know, but I know that I lost the weight. And since losing the weight, I've made health and fitness a priority in my life. It took a while to make fitness a priority. I thought weight loss was going to be it. You know, you lose weight, you're healthy, you're good. So still smoking and drinking and very weak because I lost a lot of muscle. It took, you know, another 5 or 6 years to really get into the gym and into running and figure out what fitness and health and weight loss and how they all tie together. What I'll say to that is you can't exercise more than you can eat. So if you want to lose weight, it's diet. I'm sorry. I don't want to bust anybody's bubble, but it is. Now, if you want to lose weight and maintain muscle mass, exercise most certainly helps with that. If you want to lose weight and need motivation, exercise helps with that, and group fitness helps even more, as people will keep you accountable. So, yeah, I've been on a diet for the last 14 years. And I get off of it often, or I fail. I don't get off of it, and this is the accountability mirror. I binge. I eat poorly. I give in to cravings. I use gas stations a lot. There's days when I can't let myself go into a store. And I know those days. I will buy 7 or 8 candy bars, or 5 or 6 Danishes, or a couple of bags of the little white powdered donuts. And I'll eat them. I'll eat them all. I'll sit in my truck somewhere and I'll be extremely mad at myself while I'm eating them. But I'll still eat them. And I don't know that that'll ever go away. I don't know that it's ever going to get any better. And I wish that it would. I wish I could figure out how to make it better. But when I do that, I just have to, you know, find some motivation to get back on track. I need a drink. Diet Coke. I have a really hard time reaching out to people when I get in those moods. And I should, but I should call. You know, it's almost like needing a sponsor, an AA sponsor. I need to have people in place that I can talk to about it, that'll sit down with me with a cup of coffee and talk me off the ledge. And that's the darker side. And I know it doesn't seem dark. It's, oh, well, you ate a bag of donuts. But it's the mental aspect of what it does that's bad. It makes me feel weak. Like I'm not in control of myself. I'm not in control of my life. I'm not in control of anything. If I can't control that thing, then I'm not in control. It's giving in to a weakness. And that's very hard. It makes me start questioning other aspects of life. In what other areas am I giving in? Am I not living up to what I should be doing, you know? You know, try to get right back on track after that happens. And if, you know, if you're listening to this and you're in that boat and you have those days, reach out. You know, maybe we can help each other. What's crazy about it is it's not even a hunger. It's not, I need to eat because I'm hungry. I know what hungry is, and I know what full is. but the need to eat is just a different feeling. It's almost, you know, like quitting cigarettes. It's the need to have a cigarette. You know you don't need one. You don't actually need one. You don't want one, but you have to have it. You know, y'all guys that have quit smoking, yeah, there's, bring Melissa up again. It amazes me. She always told me she'll quit. I'll quit when I'm pregnant. I'll quit when I get pregnant. And she did. We found out she was pregnant with Fallon. She finished that pack and hasn't had another one since. I had to use Chantix, and I can't tell you how many mornings I threw a full pack of cigarettes out the window of the truck. Said, this will be the day. This is when I quit. I'm done. And then at 10 o'clock, go buy a pack of cigarettes. Food's the same way. And maybe it's, you know, having an addictive personality. I don't know. But it's tough. So anyway, to wrap this up, what I know about weight loss, you need to load up on proteins and fats and limit the carbs. I'm not saying go to a straight ketogenic or Atkins diet, but there is no such thing as an essential carbohydrate. There is absolutely essential proteins and fats. The protein and fat is going to fill you up more. It's also harder to digest. So just by eating more protein and fat and less carbs, you increase your basal rate, you know, the amount of food you need to eat each day just to stay alive. Try to eat non-processed foods. That's just a good, healthy choice. I like the old paleo saying, if it had a face or it was grown, you can eat it. If not, throw it away. If it comes in a box, throw it away. Definitely stay on the outside perimeter of the grocery store. Try to buy everything from the fresh sections. Don't go down aisles. Get away from snack foods. Get them out of the house. You don't need them. Don't graze. We're not deer. We're not cows or horses. We need to eat our meals and then go on about our business. Entertain yourself. Don't let yourself get bored. If you feel like you're wanting to eat out of boredom, go for a jog. Go do something. Find a craft hobby, something to do with your hands, something you can just zone out and do so that you're not thinking about food. Get a support group, find a base. You know, I'm a huge advocate for CrossFit. Find you a CrossFit box, get into a class, go to that class 5 days a week, meet the people there and ask them for help. They will. It's a great community. Read and research, but do your reading and research. Take it with a grain of salt. The science is changing. It has been changing rapidly. Over the last 20 years, it's changed dramatically and continues to. One, because people are finally starting to question the old sciences and figuring out that a lot of it was wrong. Use fat as a really good example for that. You know, for years everybody thought fat was bad. Comes to find out, fat's not nearly as bad as sugar. So, just read and research all that you can. Use some common sense and try to sort through it. Don't give up. If you have a bad day, get back on track the next day. Find what works for you. There's going to be people that hate your diet, no matter what diet you're on. I don't understand it, but there will be people that hate your diet. Just do what works for you. If you're doing it and it's working, stick with it. My views on the scale differ from a lot. You know, I know a lot of fitness professionals and weight loss professionals will tell you ignore the scale. Muscle weighs more than fat. Weigh yourself once a week. Weigh yourself once a month. Blah, 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 blah. Call bullshit on all that. Yes, muscle weighs more than fat. You can't gain muscle that fast. You can lose fat a whole lot faster than you can gain muscle. I recommend weighing yourself at the same time every day, naked, and writing it down. After 7 days, add it all up and divide by 7, and that's your average weight for that week. Do the same thing the following week. And then subtract your average weight from week 1 from your average weight from week 2. That will give you your weight loss. And it's much more accurate than just weighing every Saturday or every Sunday or once a week. Your weight's going to fluctuate daily depending on your stress levels, your cortisone levels, your salt intake that day, your carbohydrate intake that day, the amount of water you've drank that day, the amount you've sweated that day. There's so many daily factors in what you actually weigh that it can be very depressing. Most mornings I wake up at 199, and most nights I go to bed at 207. I drink a lot of water throughout the day. I eat a lot of food throughout the day. So you'll see weight fluctuations, but if you'll average your weekly and then subtract week 1 from week 2, you'll get an idea of whether or not you're losing weight. Don't buy into one diet and think that it's it. Do if you need to keep you on track, but there's no such thing as a sustainable diet. You're going to fall off the wagon. You're going to stop being on that diet. You're going to want a different taste in your mouth. You're going to want to eat some different foods. So be flexible. Try this diet for 2 or 3 months, and then try another diet for 2 or 3 months, and then try another diet for 2 or 3 months. Lastly, don't be in a hurry to stop dieting. Don't fall into this idea that someone has sold you the magic pill, that it's perfect. You're where you're at. You've made it to where you want to be. You can just stop doing this and stay here forever. That doesn't exist. If you're overweight for a reason. And if you stop dieting and you go back to eating the way that you were, you're going to be overweight again. That sucks. That's a hard realization. And a lot of people will disagree with me, and that's fine, But for me, having kept the weight off for 14 years now, there is no such thing as not dieting. There's no such thing as learning how to eat. There's no such thing as just eat these foods. It's something that has to be monitored constantly and watched and regulated. It's just too easy to go eat the bag of donuts. Anyway, I guess that's all. Or all for this go round. I hope to do one of these a week. I don't try to do them every Friday. I'll put them on YouTube. Leave me some comments. Subscribe to my channel. If I can help, shoot me a message. I'll try my best. I don't know. I mean, we're all here for each other. And let's try to make the best of life.